Hello student, today I am going to take chapter 7 Nilamu, a day among waterfalls. This is a story excerpt from the novel of the author himself, Vikram Seth, From Heaven Lake. He tells us about his own experiences of trekking from China to India, but in this chapter it is from Tibet to India. So here, let me tell you a little about the author. So Vikram Seth was born in 1952 in Kolkata, an Indian novelist, poet and travel writer. He has received several awards including the Sahitya Academy Award, the Padma Shri and the Book Award for his writings. He has written novels as well as poetry. So do you know the meaning of trekking? Well, trekking is going on a long and difficult journey on foot. Trekkers are people who undertake such journeys. That means they have to take the backpacks, carry their items in the backpack. Here the story begins that the author passed from the Thongla Pass over 5,000 meters high to Nilamu Nzamu, a place in Tibet, which is a little over 2,000 meters. He had to pass through the alpine meadow to semi-deciduous forest. As he began walking from Nilamu to Zamu, midges bite his ankles. He had to pass through the Bhotakoshi river, and with his heavy luggage, it takes time for him to take photographs. After he had passed the Nilamu and Zangmu Pass, he reached the Kinhai Tibet Plateau. From here, he had to pass through the Bhotakoshi waterfalls, which drop hundreds of feet down to the surface. And there are many cascades and cataracts. Cascades are small waterfalls and cataracts are large waterfalls. So you have to pass through all these and skirts around the edge of the hills in a continuous downward slopes towards Zangmu. Here that means this trekking of the author happens in the monsoon season. So that's why there is lots of floods. Then waterfalls rush down the Angles gradient with an impetus terrifying streams only a few meters across. Then the flood that struck here a few days ago has destroyed a small bridge. Then, standing by the stream, its brown waters floating a couple of steps away. It boulder spattered spray striking the clothes and his face. And he looked down 30-degree slope that leads to the Bhota Koshi River. The stream rose to a gorge jam with tree trunks, rocks and debris. So from here, the flood level at the height of the damage was 30 meters above its present flow. So I hope you know how does the flood looks. So here's a clip of a flood. A road bridge here has been swept away by that flood, cutting Nilamu off from Zangmu. Then, at the moment, there is only a makeshift bridge of logs. Shaking on its rocky support, a few feet above the stream with a cable on each side for a hand grip. Though it is not more than 5 meters across, a slip would mean instant pulverization. That means if he slips, he will fall down and reduce to pieces. So he hesitated to cross this bridge. And finally, he got the courage from the 8-year-old Tibetan child who works, calms, and relaxed, swaying with the cables over to the other side. So he got this courage from this child, and along the main valley of devastation is apparent high above the Bhotakoshi current flow. The firm concrete bridge between Nepal and China has disappeared, as has the checkpoint which used to be above it has been swept away. So this flood from Zangmu and Nilamu, it destroyed all the property in Tibet. But lower down in Nepal, a number of lives were lost, especially when the river was swelled at night. This flood has caused a terrible violence to the people of Tibet because small huts, terrace field, then the crops, the trees, the rocks, everything was ground down to what the villagers describe as a black slurry. That means it has been covered with a mixture of mud and cement. One Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, says highest good is like water. Why did he say this? Because he referred that water benefits everyone and flows downward. It settles where none would like to be, that is at the lowest. So also water accepts all tastes and colors despite being tasteless and colorless by nature. On one hand, it is submissive, also as to say it is timid and weak than water. So another point written by the author is, water, the universal element, is yet so particular about its local excellences. So by this he means that water benefits many myriad creatures and mean countless creature. It has a negative aspect because it causes floods and damage. And the need for water is a universal need and not limited to human beings alone, but it is for all human beings, for all the things exist in the earth. Another point that the author expressed here is that air and water are communal even within our lives. So by this he means that in the sense of being, the water, it has been shared by everyone. It moves from one place to another and benefits everyone. To conclude this chapter, the author, with his curious thought, he gathered up his luggage again and set off down the road and wandered and staring fixedly at the water and the sea, the waterfalls and the stream. And he looked strange when the land is so much more colorful, manifold, various. And he imagined to himself that when water moves, while the land is static, or rather that its movement, the putting out of leaves, the movements of the earth crust are imperceptible to us. Imperceptible means it is difficult for us to notice that how this flood has done to the earth. So, thank you, students. To conclude